Goku and Piccolo vs Raditz is one of the most memorable and important fights in Dragon Ball Z, which happened right at the start of the Saiyan saga and kicked Dragon Ball Z off with a bang. Do me a favor guys, hit the like if you're a big fan of the Piccolo and Goku vs Raditz fight. If you think it's one of the best fights and one of the most important fights in Dragon Ball, hit that like to let me know. And thanks for being part of this video, so make sure you watch all the way through to get the answer that you so long crave. If Goku is a fool for letting go of the tail. During the fight itself, specifically towards the end, there is a situation where Goku risks his life in order to defeat Raditz once and for all. In this video, we are going to talk about Goku grabbing Raditz's tail, and if letting it go would have made a difference, as well as the second time he held him in a full Nelson, why didn't he grab his tail again? Could Goku have survived? Now, during the fight, Goku admits he's got nothing up his sleeve. However, Piccolo has been practicing the special beam cannon, the Makanko Support, which was the plan to finish Raditz off by putting all of his power into one attack and taking out the Saiyan warrior once and for all. However, there was a bit of a problem. Raditz was very nimble. In fact, even Goku struggled to keep up with him, even after he took off all of his weighted clothes. What took Raditz by surprise was that Goku could concentrate all of his power into one attack using the Kamehameha, but pretty much throughout, Raditz was absolutely dominant, and Goku and Piccolo needed an angel on their shoulder. There was no way they could beat this guy just by attrition. One energy blast was enough to take off Piccolo's arm. If it made direct contact with either of them, it probably would have left them for dead. Luckily for Piccolo, all he needs is one arm, right? Of course, as we know, Piccolo fires the first special beam cannon. When Raditz isn't even held at all, the beam is extremely fast, to which Raditz barely dodged it, leaving a big mark on his shoulder and tearing through his Saiyan armor. Piccolo was very surprised with Raditz's speed. However, right after this, Goku grabs Raditz's tail. He let his guard down. Goku somehow got behind him, whether he suppressed his ki so the scouter couldn't pick it up, or Raditz was completely distracted by what's going on with the special beam cannon. Either way, Goku knows how serious the tail grabbing is. It paralyzed him as a kid, so why not try it on the brother, right? Anyway, Piccolo starts to charge up the special beam cannon one more time, and this is where the belief comes from that Goku was so naive, he let Raditz's tail go, and that eventually cost him his own life, because he could only grab Raditz in a full Nelson, as Raditz was more clicked on about protecting his tail. So in a way, some people believe Goku got himself killed. Regardless of the plot, guys, we know this was leading to bigger and greater things. But in the moment, let's talk about in the moment of this fight. Could they have killed Raditz if Goku held onto that tail and he didn't listen to his brother? This is going to shock you, but I'm going to give you all the facts, because many people overlook this and they just take it at surface level, thinking that Goku is an idiot for trusting his brother. You see, during this fight, Goku absolutely wanted to kill Raditz because of him taking Gohan. This is old school Goku, guys. This is the guy you saw in OG Dragon Ball, and he would kill somebody if they were being an evil piece of crap, and Goku was sick to his stomach with them. Raditz was part of that list. It's only when Raditz begged for mercy that he would leave this place that gave Goku another option of not taking violence. But even though Goku didn't think of him as a brother anyway, based on what he's like, I think it was the pleading for peace that Goku listened to, which is totally in his character anyway. He did the same thing with Frieza when he gave him energy. He also did the same thing with Moro down the line. But either way, Goku letting go of that tail made absolutely no difference. You see, even though Raditz has the weakness of the tail, it puts him in a very stunned, paralyzed state, similar to Goku. Unlike Nappa, Vegeta, who can take someone grabbing their tail, they have the capability to keep their strength and deal with the threat grabbing their tail. Raditz is much stronger than Goku. He has more strength at this point. Where Goku struggled to move when someone grabbed his tail, Raditz still had strength to escape the tail grab, and Goku knew this because he stated so. You see, after Raditz was torturing Goku on the floor, making a mockery out of Goku for trusting him, Gohan breaks out of Raditz's Saiyan pod, bashes into him, and this does a number on Raditz that actually weakens him. But this is where Goku grabs Raditz in a full Nelson, and this isn't because Raditz's tail wasn't exposed. Yes, Raditz wrapped his tail back around his waist, but Piccolo asks Goku, why didn't you grab his tail? Meaning, if Goku wanted to, he could have still put his hands on Raditz's tail around his waist because he was distracted, but there would have been a massive risk, not just in grabbing it and pulling it off his waist, but Goku knows Raditz has the strength to cut off his tail if he needs to. And then Raditz even replies, whilst Goku's got him in a full Nelson, uptight and personal, "You knew." So basically this means, in the first instance where Goku grabs Raditz's tail, Raditz always had the backup plan of cutting off his tail if he needed to. If he knew he was going to be in danger with this second special beam cannon, remember, he's already experienced one special beam cannon, he knows what's coming, he knows what Piccolo is doing with his hand motions, he knows how fast he needs to move to evade. Raditz is well more aware and has more of a chance of avoiding the second special beam cannon, and he thought cutting off his tail would surprise Goku and Piccolo, allowing him to get back up and beat up the two when they are at their most weakest. first, finishing them off once and for all. That's what Raditz's plan was, and this is what many people forget. This is what many people miss. They just see Goku going straight into a full Nelson to sacrifice himself because of the so-called stupid decision of letting go his tail, and Raditz being too weak because of the injury Gohan gave him, as well as his tail being wrapped around his waist. Absolutely not the case. Goku knew what he was doing. He knew he needed to take Raditz into a hold where he cannot escape the special beam cannon. The only difference is this time around, compared to the time Goku grabbed his tail, is that Raditz is injured from Gohan, meaning the full Nelson is much harder to get out of. If Gohan didn't hit him, then I believe Raditz could bust out of this full Nelson because he would have more strength to do so. Let's be honest, Goku grabbing Raditz's tail did put Raditz in some sort of stunned state. But think about it, Raditz is very sneaky, he is very cunning. There's no doubt he was BSing most of that pain so that when Piccolo did launch the special beam cannon, he would be crafty to get out right at the end, luring the last amount of power from Piccolo and wasting it. So in a way, think about it like this. Goku's own kindness, his personality, him listening to Raditz, that eventually got them to win the fight. Because if Goku kept hold of that tail and Piccolo launched the special beam cannon, only for Raditz to surprise them and cut his own tail off, that would have been it. Game over for Goku and Piccolo. So Goku is not a fool. Goku is not an idiot. Goku's naive nature did not get him killed. In fact, it helped defeat Raditz if you want to look at it that way. Goku's pure heart, his kindness, being a good man paid off. If Raditz's tail was floating around after Gohan hit him, Goku would still go for the full Nelson. He wouldn't go for the tail again. Goku was a hero. Goku had to sacrifice himself. He had to hold Raditz. It was the only way to make sure that special beam cannon hits the target. Goku had to die in the Saiyan Saga in this fight. Otherwise, Raditz would have won through attrition, or basically beaten the living hell out of them. But one thing is for certain, Raditz would not have died if it wasn't for Gohan, Goku and Piccolo all working together. Even though Gohan didn't know he was working together, he was just part of the main attack that actually weakened Raditz. There is no way any of this would have worked. There is no way Raditz would have died without the three taking part in this fight in the way they did. But my point being, Goku's decision to let go of the tail, it was more down to his personality, but from a battle perspective, it wouldn't have made a damn difference if he still held onto the tail because Raditz was going to cut it off at the very least and escape the second special beam cannon, meaning they would all die after that anyway because Piccolo would have no power left. That was Raditz's intended surprise. Now there is a chance that the special beam cannon may hit Raditz before he cuts off the tail, or during the time he's trying to cut off the tail, but cause the fatal blow, I don't know. It's got a big chance of missing a vital point, especially if Raditz is moving around, rolling about on the floor, or pulling from Goku, plus he knows how the special beam cannon works now. It would still lead to the same outcome. And if the beam actually hurt Raditz but didn't kill him, Raditz would then win at all costs because he wouldn't be playing around, no more torturing. Gohan may have not even broken out of the space pod because Raditz would go for the kill very quickly if he was wounded. He would want to get medical attention as soon as possible. That's if the beam hits him in an area that causes serious damage, but not death. You know, there is a chance that if Goku held that tail, and as Raditz is struggling to cut it off, in that short time period, the special beam cannon could hit Raditz and severely injure him, almost to the point of death. But if he had any fight left in him, Raditz would no doubt take down Piccolo and Goku with him. And Gohan as well, let's be honest. They would all die on the battlefield. But that's an extremely risky situation. However, after Gohan wounds Raditz, if Goku then went for the tail and somehow got hold of it, Raditz would have less strength due to Gohan injuring him, and the special beam cannon may indeed kill Raditz if he doesn't have the strength to overcome the tail grabbing paralysis. There is a chance there, but even Goku knew that he needs to go for a full Nelson, and he didn't want to take any risks because if Goku did take a risk and it didn't work, especially with a tail grabbing knowing Raditz could cut it off, he knows they're all going to die. So Goku knew he had to sacrifice himself in this fight, and his pure heart decision of letting go of the tail in the first place has nothing to do with him dying. This is just how the battle would go. Raditz was very fast, and even injured, he could possibly evade the special beam cannon if his tail is grabbed. Look, I'm not saying Goku is not a fool through and through for trusting a piece of crap like this and letting go of his tail, but in this situation, he did the right thing overall. Even if we're talking in conjunction with the plot, what's happened in Dragon Ball multiple times is that Goku's kind heart, that decision making, leads to everything being alright in the end anyway. But what I am saying, is that Goku is not an idiot in this fight. He was actually the smartest of everybody because he knew the properties of the tail, and not even Piccolo knew Raditz's plan about cutting off the tail, but Goku did. People need to give Goku way more credit in this fight than the surface level crap of him being the fool that let Raditz go and died because of his kind nature. Absolutely wrong. They would have all died if it wasn't for Goku's kind nature. As my friend Chi-Chi would say, contrary to popular belief, Goku didn't just let go of the tail out of belief in his lie or ignorance. He understood that his brother could just cut his tail off. This is what made Goku wonder if he was being sincere, since he knew he could just do that, so why would he plead? Goku didn't understand that the reason why he didn't want to lose his tail was because he would lose most of his power. He did know that his brother could turn into a giant ape, so he wondered if he was actually being sincere and it was pointless in the long run. Goku was actually really smart, knowing that if he did cut his tail off, they'd be really screwed, but everybody takes it out of context and has memed it to death. Thank you all so much for watching this video today. Hit the like if you enjoyed it. That really helps out the video on my channel. Leave your thoughts on the topic of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. A big shout out to Chi-Chi over on Twitter once again. Another inspirational video that we once talked about that resurfaced and made me make this video. Go give her a follow, guys. Thank you so much.